Also, watch what you say to that officer when he pulls you over. They might be recording you. Tonight, how body cameras are working out for local sheriff's departments.
And the New York Stock Exchange halts trading due to what officials are calling an internal technical glitch. Tonight, a local financial planner weighs in on how safe your stock options are. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Copeland.
I'm Don Schiffman. It has been a wild day. It wasn't just the stock exchange either dealing with those tech issues. United Airlines was forced to ground all of its flights worldwide due to a computer glitch.
So far, U.S. officials are telling NBC News there's still no indication of a cyber attack. Reporter Mark Barger has your top story.
A huge wrench just thrown into our market day.
That's CNBC just before noon when the New York Stock Exchange suspended trading because of what it called an internal technical issue.
Started to see some concerns about the way trading was occurring. Customers weren't getting all of the messages back that you would otherwise expect.
Stock trades on the NASDAQ and other exchanges were not affected, and the NYSE eventually reopened just after 3 p.m.
And this will be deemed a failure of sorts for the New York Stock Exchange, not for the market overall.
The NYSE shutdown came shortly after early morning computer problems at United Airlines grounded flights nationwide for 2 hours.
It's pretty annoying.
United blamed its halt in traffic on what it called a network connectivity issue. The second time in 2 months the carriers had major technical issues.
Even a 90-minute to 2-hour delay today is going to cost United Airlines a significant amount of money.
Government officials say there's no indication the two incidents today are related or connected to cyber terrorism.
There is no indication that malicious actors were involved in these technology issues.
Stocks were already experiencing a down day when NYSE's problems arose, while United says about 3,500 flights were impacted by its computer problems. Delays are expected to last at least into the evening. Mark Barker, NBC News.
And right now, Honorine Wallach joining us here live, a local financial planner with M. Griffith Investments, and here to talk a little bit more about all of this. Specifically, you know, a lot of people are wondering, are our stock options okay?
Yeah. Well, you're mentioning stock options. That's one element of the market. You have individual stocks, etc. The market was already down. You could see that on that news report. So then it was halted. There was a computer glitch. And then I actually assumed in the office, we all were discussing it, that they might not bring us up till the morning. You know, I was remembering 1987 when they actually closed the market and we were open for only 3 hours a day, and that was many years ago.
That cost big bucks.
Well, back then it was all manual. You didn't have all the computerized stuff now.
So the more than 10 years that you've contributed here at WKTV, I've never heard you self-promote or push for having a financial planner, but
Right.
in an instance like this, pretty beneficial.
You know what? You're right. I've never said, but this is when you want an advisor. This is a time you want somebody to talk to. You're sitting out there and you might be on your computer and you see something's going on. Most of the phone calls I got today were from the West Coast. Having lived out on the West Coast, you're 3 hours behind, so you're kind of wondering, gee, what's going on in New York? So those were the phone calls that I was getting. And the people were pretty calm. There was no chaos.
Let's be clear, though. This is just New York.
This is just a New York Stock Exchange. Yes, there's a lot of trading that goes on with the stocks. So if you wanted to get your trade done, it actually could go to another exchange somewhere else. This was just the New York Stock Exchange.
And we should be clear, too, this was, I think, right around 11 o'clock that it went down, came back on just after 3 o'clock. That's a big chunk of change, though, right there, it seems.
3.5 hours. But, you know, when these things happen, you want to stop. You want cooler heads to prevail. You want to relax a little bit. You want to assess what's going on. And as they did assess it, now, I hate to say this, but if it was a cyber attack, you've stopped everything.
Okay.
You get to assess everything. Because what happens is you have to have orderly market with the buys and the sells. You want it to stop if there was a cyber attack. And you want things brought up in a manner where there's a balance, because the downside would be if we open up because there was a cyber attack, you would have a mismanagement of orders. So one of the things that happens is you can put open orders out there, which means you made a decision today to sell your Apple stock at 150. All open orders were canceled, which means those orders aren't at risk. So all the mechanisms that go in play to keep you safe and as an investor are all in play. And it's good to see how that works, because it all worked beautifully today.
All right, Honorine, thank you. And we're going to check and see what the stocks closed at in the minutes ahead.
We are. Okay, thank you. And now let's get a first check of your forecast for tonight at 5. And for that, over to Adam.
Thanks, Don. Pleasant temperatures today, a mix of sun and clouds, and more importantly, the humidity levels quite a bit lower than where we were 24 hours ago. Checking out those thermometer readings now across our area, 75 in Westmoreland. It's 72 degrees in West Winfield, 72 as well as we look back to the west in Hamilton. Dry weather prevailed as expected this afternoon, and it will stay dry tonight with partial cloudiness. Temperatures fall back slowly into the 60s this evening, by midnight down to 62, by 5 a.m. pleasantly cool at 58 degrees. The chance of rain returns tomorrow. I've got your full forecast coming up. For now, back over to you.
Okay, Adam, thank you. 1 year later, it was 1 year ago tonight that a tornado ripped through a neighborhood in Deerfield. Beaumont Place looked like a war zone with trees and telephone poles coming down and some crashing into homes. And residents, we caught up with them today. They said they caught rotating clouds on camera, which helped the National Weather Service actually confirm that it was a tornado. So today, a much different story. Yes, it started off a little rainy today, but the sun is now shining, and it will be a much different night than 1 year ago. The tornado that hit Smithfield in Madison County, by the way, it was the deadliest July tornado in the nation. 4 people were killed.
In Otsego County tonight, the kinks are out and moving picture show is up and running. The sheriff's department there has been using body cameras since January. For more on how that's going, we join News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris live in the newsroom. Jolene, good evening.
Thank you, Kristen. If an Otsego County Sheriff's deputy pulls you over, it's possible that you and the deputy won't be the only ones to see and hear what happens during that stop. And that's because with a single finger swipe before he or she even gets to your car, the whole encounter is being recorded. Video is held for 6 months unless needed longer for a court case. The Otsego County Sheriff, though, says the camera's value goes far beyond simple documentation.
They're usually by themselves to respond to calls alone. Backup's usually 20 minutes away. So this gives them a way to record what's going on before a second officer gets there.
Next month, it will be a year since Senator Joe Griffo got a $60,000 state grant toward the purchase of body cameras for the Utica Police Department. So why haven't the cameras even been bought yet? We'll have more on that coming up new on News Channel 2 at 6. Reporting live, Jolene Ferris, back to you.
Jolene, thank you.